Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports. I'm your host, Garry Glenn. Well, I know that the football play-in games are getting ready to be held this Friday, and they're getting ready to determine the seeding for all of the football and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, the wintertime sports are not that far away, basketball and wrestling. And we're going to start the show with some round ball today, and I bring to the show an old friend of mine, Jeff Steele. And Jeff went into the Sweet 16 last year with his Johson boys basketball team. You know, in recent days we've had Jeff on to talk about all the golf that he did, but because he's also the boys golf coach, had a great year in boys golf last year too. But Jeff, in basketball, first of all, let's reflect back on last season. You go to the Sweet 16, and it takes one of those kind of three-quarter lengths of the court shot, and you were quoted in the paper as saying, well, what are you going to do? Right. I mean, you can't really defend much against that. It was just one of those things. So there you are, but you still had a pretty good year.
We were pleased. The thing about that shot, it was their post player that hit it 40 feet. So that really makes it ironic. But I wouldn't have changed anything that we did. We set up in a zone and made them shoot the ball from the perimeter, and they made the shot. So take your hat off to them, I guess. It was painful, but it was painful.
I'm sure.
But last year's team was great. They were a real true team. Very fun to coach. We all had the same goals in mind, and very few distractions. So they were a joy. Lost 9 seniors, so this year we're kind of in that rebuilding mode. But I'm optimistic about it.
Well, who do you have coming back that you're gonna kind of hang your hat on?
We have 2 coming back with any kind of playing experience at the varsity level, and that's Matt Hollis and Ty Odom. We have 4 seniors this year, but they didn't really get a whole lot of experience because of the 9 seniors that we had last year. So what I'm thinking is, Gary, we can be pretty decent by the end of the year, maybe by January, which that's when it really matters anyway. We've got to get some of these kids some playing time, though, some experience.
Well, that's really right. You sort of have almost 3 seasons in basketball. You have kind of the preseason where you sort of figure out who you got, and you play some of the people that you're not, and then you have the region schedule, and then you have the playoffs.
Right. So as long as you're hitting on all cylinders near the end of the year, you've got a chance. So, of course, you need to play well in the region to get that seed that you need. But it's going to be tough. We have some good teams in our region and our sub-region, and it's going to be an interesting year.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that now. Since the realignment, you're not in 7 AAA anymore, you're in 8 AAA, and of course, Flower Branch has moved out, and East Hall has moved out. So now you've got some new faces you're going to see.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about them, to be honest with you. I know Monroe's on our side, and to my knowledge, they're probably the most talented team that will play on our side. Them and West Hall, for sure. I mean, West Hall's got everybody back. They should have an awesome year as well. But Monroe's very athletic, so they're going to be somebody to do. The other teams I really don't know much about. We'll have to scout them earlier in the year and see what we have to deal with.
Kind of good and bad, maybe. I mean,
you never know.
You sort of look forward to a different group of people, kind of excited about that. But then again, it is a venture into the unknown.
It sure is. We ran into that with that Lambert team last year. Everybody thought, well, they're new school, they won't be very good. They were a great team. They had a good team, good basketball team last year. I think they beat Gainesville at the end of the year even. So you never know about it. You got to give respect to every opponent. That's what I tell my kids, and it's true, because you can get beat if you don't bring it every night.
Well, and sort of in basketball in particular, it's kind of you need to really take care of yourself, right?
Absolutely. Take on, the old cliche, take on one game at a time, but that's really true. You have to do it that way. Some
of the people you're going to be dependent on, besides your 2 seniors you mentioned?
Well, those guys are juniors.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Matt and Ty are juniors.
Wow.
So the future really looks good. Our 4 seniors are Cam Schofield, Rashad Harrison, Marquise Hector, and Jamar Williams. And they all had good summers. So, they got some, 30, 40 games this summer to play, but it's a little different when the crowd gets in the seats and whatnot. But I'm expecting big things.
Well, you started your practice now. When do you see some action for real?
November 16th, we open up with Commerce at their place in a scrimmage game. And then the following weekend, not the next weekend, but the weekend after that, I think it's the 22nd, we're hosting a Thanksgiving tournament. So that's when it all kicks off.
Jeff, always good to see you, brother.
You too, buddy. Glad to have you.
Thanks for coming in. All right. Okay, Jeff Steele, head boys basketball coach of the Johson Knights. Hard to believe round ball season's just around the corner. We're going back to the gridiron, though, after we take these timeouts.